Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Cardiff City World. Welcome to Cardiff City versus Burnley post-match reaction. It won't be a super long show tonight. We're just going to have a chit-chat about the game. Disappointing to lose. I thought we were good value for at least a draw. But unfortunately, some defensive lapses just cost us again, if we're honest. It's just frustrating that we seem to take about an hour to get going. I thought second half we were by far the better team, but Burnley resorted to time wasting, bringing on. They went 5 at the back. They were not. I wouldn't say they were clinging on by any means, but they were certainly weren't looking to go and get that third goal in the end. We did deserve something. There was one substitution puzzled me, which was bringing Ashford off, because I thought him and O'Dowda were causing them quite a lot of problems down those wide areas. And actually, I thought if we were going to bring somebody on, I was looking at Isaac Davis or someone with pace. I also, whilst I thought Perry NG was very good today, Gutas was okay. They said on commentary how he'd been phenomenal again. He just, I don't know what it is with him at the moment. He just doesn't look the same levels. He makes a lot of last-ditch tackles and stuff. That Burnley should have had 2 penalties in the second half as well. Ramsey, Colwell, Robinson all make a difference. El Ghazi looks devoid of confidence, if I'm honest. But our set pieces are so poor. We waste so many opportunities from corners. There's this one where they try and whip it in at the near post at knee height just to get a little back heel or a flick on. I understand that one. But outside of that, all of the corners were really, really poor. And that's something that we've got to address. For a team like us who last year relied so heavily on set-piece goals, we're just not a threat from set pieces. We don't whip in free kicks. We sort of drift them in. It's quite frustrating. And also another thing which frustrated me tonight was we'd get into good positions out wide, and instead of whipping the ball in, we would try and play it back in across, back into the central areas, and almost overplaying it. Yousef Salech has shown if you put the ball in the box, he will score goals. I mean, he scored a goal tonight, but he's also hit the bar and the post. He causes problems. Put the ball in the box. We just, it's just frustrating. And look, I don't want to be too negative, because yes, defensive lapses have cost us in the first half, and you cannot give teams a 2-goal lead. But Burnley are a very good team, and I was just saying to a friend of mine, it's not just that Burnley are good on the ball, and I want to kind of discuss a couple of the issues that we had with playing against them when they had possession of football, but out of possession, their shape and the way they're so disciplined is really difficult to play against. So to create a few chances, Will Fish, he's going to be gutted. He's going to be seeing that in his dreams tonight, or his nightmares, because he would want, any footballer's going to want to score from there, but it's just one of them. Should someone have been following in at the back post? Yeah, you probably got a gamble, haven't you? But I mean, just one of them. And Burnley are just very difficult to play through. So, on one hand, you're second half, good performance. I thought first half, in possession, we were all right. Just defensively, for the first 50 minutes, we were shambolic. We gave them so much room. It seemed like they had 2 against 1 all the time in the wide areas. Particularly after Ashford went off, we there was a lot of space out wide. I think our biggest issue, and I think it's one which actually really holds the team back from going on and doing something at the moment, we move the ball too slow. And then second half, we start to move it a little bit quicker, and we're looking for those diagonal balls. I like that we're looking like we're sort of playing into the midfield, popping it off, and then Fish and Ramsey, Chambers, they're looking for those diagonal balls to the wingers. But there was a couple of opportunities in the second half where El Ghazi was in behind Connor Roberts. If we had just hit that switch ball, and I know like those long diagonals, they're counted as like high risk balls in terms of like stats and all this crap. But like ultimately, it's not that difficult a ball because you're aiming for the space behind the fullback. There's a lot of space to aim for. The striker's facing the forward is facing the way to run into the space. The defender's got to turn around. So I thought taking Ashford off for El Ghazi was probably a mistake. The rest of the subs, I thought he got spot on. But a big one for me was dropping Will Fish. I thought that was a mistake. I thought Rina Moto has looked tired recently, and Perry NG has looked back in form. But most of all, Will Fish and Joel Bagan have been looked like our best defenders. And I am a big believer in picking people on form. And I saw someone say the other day, or earlier today, it might have been on social media, that, Will Fish has played a lot of football. But he hasn't. He's played a few games recently, but he hasn't played a lot of football. So I would be surprised if there's any tiredness there. As soon as he came on, we started to win headers in the box again. I couldn't believe how much room we gave them in the first half to put crosses in the box. And then when the cross came in the box, Burnley had two players or one player in the box at some point. And we just, somehow they got to the ball first. A lot of ball watching going on. Defensive lapses. I thought second half we were absolutely the best team. I think, like I said the other day, right? Omar Rhys has got all these jigsaw pieces and he's trying to find the right combination and the right thing. And I understand why people say he tinkers a bit too much with it, like Simon saying there, he tinkers a little bit too much with it. I don't mind the rotation in the midfield and the wide areas and the attacking areas because I think we've got so much quality in there that is trying to find the right players for the right game and the right thing. But I think the back four or back five has got to be pretty nailed on most of the time. And I cannot, I understand maybe from the coaches and the club's point of view, maybe like they think, Will Fish is young, he might be prone to a mistake or two. But to me, he's been far and away our best defender in the last 3 or 4 games. And I'm a massive fan of Kutas. He's an old school defender, makes those last ditch challenges. But there's something not right with him at the moment. He just doesn't look the same as what he was earlier in the season. I just feel like we're nearly there and it's going to click. But I don't know when, because the first half I thought, fine. In possession, I thought we were all right, decent, not great. Out of possession, I thought we were pretty poor. Burnley played through us really easily. And interestingly, one of the things I complimented Aaron Ramsey for a couple of games ago was his defensive work, like tracking runners from midfield and not just passing them on to the defenders. And for their first goal, I think it's Alex Robertson, but it might have been Callum Chambers. I'm not 100% sure. But whoever doesn't really track the runner gets in behind, he puts the ball across, they score. And look, it's not an individual... it's not an individual's fault because the cross comes along. We've got 3 defenders against 1 attacker and not one of them goes for the ball. A lot of ball watching going on. But I also think if we play like we did in the first half, if we play like we did in the second half against your Lutons and the teams around us, I really believe that we'll beat them and we could beat them, fairly comfortably. Like I said the other week or the other day, and I kind of stand by it. At some point soon, I feel like this team's going to click and we're going to give someone a bit of a pasting. Now, it would be nice if it was Luton or Sunderland or someone. It's just frustrating because we deserved a draw today. And actually, I said to a friend with about 20 minutes to go, I said, if we get one now, we'll go on and win this because Burnley were not comfortable. I wouldn't say we were all over them. I wouldn't say they were panicking, but they weren't comfortable. Every time we press, we win the ball back. That is really frustrating to me. When we press, we win the ball back. And when we move the ball quickly, we look like a real good football team. But too often, we move the ball slow and we don't press. Or we press for 10 minutes and then we drop in. And it's a bit of a weird one. I don't know why we're not playing Isaac Davis. I understand we've got to manage his fitness and stuff like that. But El Ghazi's been pretty poor recently, and they were struggling a little. Connor Roberts struggles against pace. He didn't have a great time against Ashford. I didn't actually think it was the right time to take Ashford off. Felt like a predetermined sub, but I really felt like the opportunity was there to bring on Isaac Davis off the left. And I actually thought he could have put Robinson off the left at one point and kept Ruben in the middle. I thought Ruben struggled a little bit out wide. He didn't quite know whether to like drive at the fullback and put a cross in or go back. He was a bit caught in 2 or 3 minds. It's that age-old thing I've said. I feel like I say it every home preview. We don't start fast and aggressive enough at home because, I get it. Burnley is a good team. But we set up in quite an aggressive team. We had the players to go and have a go at them. We had the players to press as well. And we're not utilising maybe our attributes as well as we could do, I don't think. Like, I know when I've seen in the second half that we can press well as a team. So why don't we do that earlier and be aggressive and put teams under pressure early doors instead of waiting to be 2-0 down? You cannot give any team, a 2-0 lead and expect to get something out of the game. You certainly can't do it against one of the better teams in the league who've got Premier League squad and Premier League money, etc. Excuse me. You'll have to bear with me. I'm a bit rough, so my voice might be a bit odd and stuff. I'm going to go to some of the comments because, like I say, I'm not going to be a real long one. I'm super frustrated. I feel like I felt pretty positive for the last week or two. Like, I feel like it's coming. I still do, but like, I really felt like we could have got something from that game. I feel like if we could have got one back with 20 minutes to go, I feel like we could have gone on and won it, to be perfectly honest. I thought we were pretty good value for at least a draw. And, people were giving me grief when I was going on about Will Fish earlier in the season, but I think he's been a big, big difference. And like, I'll ask you guys in the chat, did we miss Will Fish in the first half? Because I thought we did with crosses. We just so much ball watching. Bizarre. But let's not go over the top. That's the first home game we've lost in 2025. I think, it's frustrating. These little tweaks like moving the ball quicker and being a bit more aggressive in the press and starting faster. They are little tweaks. I think the substitutes, by and large, all made an impact, a difference. It would be nice to get our kind of real ball playing, attacking players playing a bit earlier and maybe starting in some of these home games. Like, I understand Ramsey not starting today. He's not going to play 2 games in a couple of days starting. Could we have started with one of maybe Manswerk and Chambers and then put like Robertson or Ruben in there and try to be a bit more aggressive? I don't know if it's the game for that because Burnley are a good team. Sunderland's going to be a real difficult game. I said in my preview yesterday that I actually would have taken 2 points from these 2 games and just not lose because I think they're really 2 difficult games. Sunderland away is a long trip. They're a decent team. But like, if you can play like that against Burnley and Burnley held on in the end, why can't you go up to Sunderland and hit them on the break? I just hope for the Sunderland game, because he will rotate it again. Willock didn't get on and Davis and people like this. I would like to see us set up to hit him on the break because, that's what you're going to do away in the Championship. But to do that, you've got to have the right players. You need to have someone in there who can play that killer pass, whether that's Ramsey or Colwell. And then you need pace. Yousef Salech, by the way, I am definitely putting a bet on him score 20 goals next year. He's just a goal scorer. I love his attitude. I love the way he puts himself about. He's quite creative in some of his finishes as well. Like, Burnley are just a very, very good team. Not just on the ball, but off the ball. I think they're sensational. I was really impressed with their defensive shape and like how quickly they get back in. And look, for all those people who say, "Oh, Rhys is not experienced enough, and he's this and he's that," we just played against Burnley, who we lost 5-0 to earlier in the season, and we're disappointed that we didn't get at least a point from the game. So, like, you've got to be realistic. I think, and that another Graham just said there, Robinson doesn't look fit enough to press. Robinson, I don't quite know what they're doing with him. Like, he came back from injuries. He really, you could see against Hull when he came on for 15, 20 minutes, he was not fit. Like, he was blowing. We're being so kind of responsible in how we're managing the minutes of Isaac and Ramsey. Like, I would like to see us manage Robertson back to fitness because he's such an important player for us. Like, I would rather have him. I'd rather Ruben have started, say, and then brought Robertson on for 20 minutes and get him back that way. Our pressing is weird. Like, we just sit in and sit in and sit in. But I know for a fact that Rhys wants to play like a high pressing side, a high pressing way of playing. So I just don't know whether it's the players don't have the fitness to do it, the players aren't able to do it physically, or whether they're trying to time it out. So, like, when the other team is tired, you go a bit more aggressive with the press. I'm not quite sure, but it's really like, what's the word? It's really disjointed, like how we do it. Like, first half, we barely pressed. Started the second half, we barely pressed. Then all of a sudden, we started pressing in big numbers, winning the ball back, forcing mistakes. And I just think when you've got Alves out and you've got Tanner out, which they should be back soon, and Darland, for Robertson, I wouldn't be pushing him with his hammy. Like, I just would just give him 20 minutes here and there, let him get his fitness back up. When you've got players who are fit and sharp at the moment to play in those positions, you don't need to risk players. Just blood them in now and again. It's an interesting one. It is an interesting conundrum because we just got all these players and it's trying to, like, fit them all in. Like, what would you say is the best 11? Because I think it's very difficult to pick. Salech is there. Well, much like I said about Alex Robertson earlier in the season, Salech feels like one, maybe just enjoy him for a season or two because he might end up going elsewhere for big money unless we go and get promoted. I'm really... Look, let's get the job done in terms of staying up this year. Just make sure we stay up. But I look at this team and I look at the age of some of the players and I'm like, I'm quietly like looking forward to next year because we'll bring in one or two. You've already got like your Robertsons, your Colwells, your Tanner and Ashford, Salech, Fish, Darland, Bagan. Then you've got the youngsters like Lawler and Giles. You've got O'Dowda. So, you know, Perry NG looks like himself again as well. I think Ridamoto needs a break. He's give him a break. I think it's probably more mental than physical, but he's played like so much football this year. Almost every minute of every game, even when we've rotated, we tend to still play him or he moves into midfield. And I think then you can put an informed Perry NG at right back. There was no need to put Perry at centre back today. Like, I understand why, because Ridamoto's been so he's been so good, like, constantly and so dependable. And Perry NG's back in form, and you're like, right, you know, keep him in the side. But I just cannot fathom why you would drop Will Fish. They should have had 2 penalties. One definitely. The second one I thought was touch and go, but the first one was definitely a penalty. So we have got away with it a little bit. We deserved the draw, at least. I felt, and look, Will Fish scores that goal. I think he deserves that on the back of his performances recently. But you just wanted a forward player in that position, didn't you? Rather than a centre back. But it's one of them. Like, I don't think it's not the end of the world. In terms of individual performances, I thought Perry NG was very good again. O'Dowda was excellent again. Manswerk was very good. Chambers, I think, decent without being incredible. Maybe not 100% fit yet after his injury. Robertson looked a little bit off it, but you know what you're going to get with him once he's up to fitness. Salech was real good. Robinson was real good when he came on. I thought Ruben was really good. I thought he struggled in the central area, but then I thought he struggled a little bit out wide. Bagan was pretty good. Bagan kept getting doubled up on, though, so that was difficult for him. But I thought he dealt with it really well. And look, think back to Ramsey was also very good when he came on. If you think back to that Leeds game, and by the way, Burnley could have been at least three up in the first half because we were defending all over the shop. And we just came back and we got it sorted. Now, was that because we brought Fisher on? I don't know. Maybe it was just an organisational thing. But ultimately, we got it together and we defended much better. Man of the match, I think, for Cardiff, man of the match, probably Salech. Although O'Dowda probably runs him close as well. I thought O'Dowda was excellent. I didn't think anyone had a particularly bad game. I thought even El Ghazi was decent in possession. It was just when his final ball just wasn't good. But, Bagan did an excellent job on Marcus Edwards, who's a very dangerous player. I think he had one sort of clear-cut opportunity, which Howard saved. It's the ball. Do you know what? It kills me as as someone who coaches kids and stuff, and helps out with my boys' team. The ball watching for both of their goals is infuriating. Because they're experienced, quality defenders, and we just watching the ball, and they had such little numbers in the box compared to ours, and we're just watching the ball. It's just what a frustrating game. But not for the first time. We've talked about it. Concentration and defensive lapses have cost us. But there's positives there. The squad is still fighting. The team is still fighting. Burnley are a good side. And I think if you're honest, everyone's honest with themselves. Don't think many people thought we were going to get anything from tonight. It was hope of a draw or hope of something special. But just take the positives from it. Off the top of my head now, and this will probably change by the time I do the preview and the proper preview for the Sunderland game, I would go Howard, O'Dowda, left back. I would go Fish and Bagan, centre backs. Right back, I would go Perry NG. Midfield, I would go Manswerk and Chambers away from home. In the 10, I would go with Colwell. On the right, I would go with Keane Ashford. And on the left, I would go with Isaac Davis. And then I would look to bring in Callum Robinson and Ramsey and people off the bench. But it's frustrating, man, real frustrating, because I don't think we're far off clicking, but we're just not quite doing it. And then is the reason why we're not quite clicking because there's so many rotations within the selections? I don't know. I think you have to do it in the Championship, but we do rotate a lot. There's not many players who play every game, is there? O'Dowda, Gutas, NG probably, Manswerk, Chambers probably, and then we were good. Just deserved at least a draw. And I really felt if we got that goal with about 20 minutes to go, we'd go on and win it. But Burnley, like I said, they weren't hanging on by any means, but they were also from about 20 minutes out. They were time wasting. They went 5 at the back. I think you just got to manage Ramsey. I do agree with you, Martin. Ramsey should start, but you just got to manage his minutes. He started against Villa. He played half hour today, whatever it was. I mean, I'd be very happy to see Mansfield, Ramsey, and Colwell as the midfield three, but like James Trafford, mate, is the most overrated keeper. I don't understand. Like, I think he's really overrated, but it's just me. Let's have a look at some of these comments. By the way, tomorrow on the live show from 7, got the Cardiff City Hour for an hour, and then we got the Welsh Football Hour. Got Kevin Ratcliffe joining me, former Wales, former Cardiff, former Everton centre-back, won it all with Everton as well, by the way. And we've also got Welsh filmmaker, co-owner of Merthyr, Johnny Owen, joining us, as well as Lakey with the fan view. And you never know who else might turn up, but those are definite. Kev Ratcliffe, Johnny Owen, Tony Rivers. It's going to be a good time again. The guests on those shows, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but that Wednesday night show on Cymru Sport Radio has only been going about 5 weeks, and the guests that we've had on there already, sensational. So that's a positive. Let's have a look at some of these comments. Their keeper, no one likes James Trafford. Yeah, Rhys didn't look happy at one point in the second half, because I think we were just moving the ball a bit slow and he wanted us to pick up the pace a little bit, because Burnley felt like they were there for the taking at one point. I really believe, like, the likes of Stoke, Luton, these teams which we've got to play, like, if we play like we did in the second half, I think we beat them. If we defend like we had against Villa and Hull, then we beat them. If we defended like we had against Villa and Hull today in the first half, we'd probably win that game, because those 2 goals were shocking. And that isn't what we've defended like recently. So that was disappointing to see those defensive lapses in concentration again. That's a big problem. We have to address it, and we have to address it quickly. And that is one thing which maybe you can sort of ask the manager, because I think every man and his dog was thinking Will Fish was starting, and he went with NG and Gutas as his 2. And I don't know. I understand playing NG, because I think he's back in form. He looks himself again, and when he's that guy, he's one of the best right backs in the championship. So give Remoto a break. The man looks mentally knackered. Bilbo Swaggins, you right, mate, said Fish should have scored that. He should have scored that, but it's one of them, innit, where you just don't want your centre-back. You just don't want it to fall to a centre-back. Just fall to bloody Ruben or, like, Robinson or someone. Oh, so frustrating, man. So frustrating. Paul saying Rhys at one stage looked really pissed off. See, there's steam coming out of his ears and eyeballs. Yeah, he didn't look happy at one point. Simon Perrott says, deserved a draw, just lacked that slice of luck to score the second goal. Let me ask you a question, Simon, right? This season, can you remember us having any luck, like, at all? Like a spawny goal? I was thinking it when Salech hit the post, and what a, like, inventive finish that was. Like, O'Dowd sort of just scooped it into the box, and he's gone over his shoulder, and he's kind of stretched and twisted and just volleyed it, and just really inventive from Salech. He's just a proper goal scorer, poacher. And he'll get better, by the way, physically, and like his hold-up play and link-up play and his runs. Like, that'll all get better because he's young. And this is why I'm, quietly excited going forward. But, damn. I think, so Gareth says, what's your thoughts on Yousef Salech so far? I think so far, mate, I think he's been an absolute bargain. He looks like what we've lacked over probably since Kiefer Moore. A genuine poacher. When I did a little scout report when we signed him, and just sort of what we should expect. And one thing I said is, between the posts, he just comes alive, and he is so dangerous. And if you put it in those areas, he will score goals. And I think I've been proven right with that assessment. Like, he looks dangerous. He scores one tonight. Could have had a hat-trick with a bit of luck. And I just think we got to put the ball in the box, though. Like, so many times we turn down the cross in the second half, and he's there waiting for it. Like, put it in the box. put them under pressure. Burnley just wasted time the whole second half. I don't understand why we refuse to put crosses in the box. Gareth also asks another interesting question. He said, would you offer Rhys a new contract or a contract next season? So if you're asking me today to make that decision, then I would probably lean more towards yes. What I see is I see a team which is being built and a squad which is being built and a way of playing that's being built still. Like, you've got to remember, this is still essentially Errol Bullett's team. I think he's doing it in stages and he's built the foundations now. And I think we're seeing glimpses of what he wants to do with the press. We're seeing glimpses of what he wants to do on ball and in possession, rotations and movement off the ball and shapes and things. And I think he's also shown himself to be quite tactically adaptable. He's not glued to one shape or one style of play, or certain players have to play. Like, he's happy to switch it up. What I would like to see him do is pick players on form a little bit more. I'm not just on about Will Fish. Like, Fish, Colwell, I think were unlucky not to start today. I'm a big believer in that. If you pick players who are in form, you've always got a good chance of getting a good performance out of them. But yeah, it's set pieces and crosses. I really want to see a big improvement in that. Big improvement. Our corners are absolutely shocking. And our free kicks, we just keep floating them up. Whip them in. Like, you've got these guys, right? We have got some genuinely good dead ball deliverers of the ball, like NG and Chambers and Colwell. They all, when they whip it in, like if they were shooting and they whip it in, they've all got the ability to do it. So I don't understand why we don't do it, especially when you look at what teams do to us. They whip it in and try and put it right underneath the bar and cause us issues. Imagine we hadn't signed Salech. Jesus Christ, yeah. Unbelievable. I think Robinson looks motivated. Not that he looked unmotivated, but he had like a bit of a quiet spell sort of after the South Wales derby and that. And I think he looks like a guy now who's really like up for it because he's got a bit of competition. I like that. Simon says, yes, we've been really unlucky to see. It's just unreal, mate, the luck. And look, make your own luck. A lot of the late goals we've conceded, which have cost us a lot of points, to the point where we'd probably be bloody safe. That is, that's defensive concentration. But there's a bit of luck in there. Like, I look at that, was it the Coventry game where we dominating it, 1-0 up, and Callum Robinson just gets sent off for nothing. And then they score sort of straight away. And then suddenly you're down to 10 men and there's 1-1. And you're like, for God's sake. And there's been some stuff like that. And we've just been very unlucky. I like those, posting out, crossbar out, just wide. Frustrating. But there we go. Got to make your own luck. Got to make your own luck. I just want to see us be a bit like a bit more high pressing in the way we go about our business off the field, out of possession. Sorry, like I really think, because I think we've got the players for it. But then it's like I said about the jigsaw. He's trying to build and find the right pieces. I like it though, and credit to Burnley. Right, I didn't think they were great in possession, especially in the second half. First half, they cut through us a little bit, and I thought there was a lot of ball watching and people not following their runners, and we were too easy to play through. But credit to Burnley, defensively, they're so quick to get back into shape and make themselves compact. Like Scott Parker has them really well drilled. Even the flair players, as soon as they lose the ball, they all just drop in, and then it's just so difficult to play through. And then they loved a bit of time wasting as well, Simon said, it does feel like a conspiracy. No luck. Very few key decisions our way. Not many fluky deflections. Second balls just slide past us, go to opposition players. Frustrating beyond belief. Yeah, we never seem to get like the 50-50 fouls and like those soft fouls that teams seem to get against us. We never seem to get them. But you got to make your own luck as well. 102 Squadron says Burnley worked their socks off to stop crosses, up to 3-player crowding out of the winger at times. We were the opposite. We looked like we were inviting balls and God, yeah, 100%, mate. In the first half, I couldn't believe how easy it was for them to just put 2 players on the wing, and we were just like letting them cross it in. But then the way we defended those crosses was appalling. I would understand it if we were defending like we defended the last couple of games because we were winning everything in the air. But the way we defended tonight was weird. But yeah, you're right. Burnley did a good job of trying to stop the crosses, but we had so many opportunities where we could put a ball in and we tried to go back into the middle and work something. And part of me admires it because they want to play football and they don't just want to lump it in the box. They want to create something by passing the ball. But when you've got a striker like Yousef Salech, who's so dangerous in the box and comes alive and has shown even just tonight what he can do in the box, put it in the box for him, especially when you're chasing a goal. And Burnley, yeah, Paul's right there. Burnley should have had 2 penalties. Absolutely should have. Please, if you're watching for the first time or you don't normally watch or whatever, please do make sure you subscribe. Helps us out a massive amount. And if you want to go that extra mile, then please do become a member. You get extra content, all that good stuff. And you get early access to tickets for our live events. The next one of which is with Glenn Loovens on the 25th of April. I cannot wait. It's going to be a great evening again. The live events are always a good time. And there's a few tickets left. Please do get involved. Sold another load of tickets yesterday, actually, so there's not loads left. So, please do come down. There'll be a great night. There'll be raffles and all that sort of stuff and different things. And you'll get to meet the legend that is Glenn Loovens, and you never know who else might come and say hello to Glenn. And, yeah, it'd be good to put some names to faces and all that stuff in terms of all the members and subscribers and that. But it'd be a good night. So, yeah, if you wanna come along, then come along. It's going to be good. Tomorrow night, Kev Ratcliffe, Johnny Owen, Tony Rivers, among others. It's going to be a proper night again. Those Wednesday nights on Cymru Sport Radio, but also the video is live streamed on Cardiff City World from 7 till 9. 7 till 8 is the Cardiff City World. Then it's 8 till 9 is the Welsh Football Hour. And be really interesting. Talking to Kev Ratcliffe. Oh, what a career. What a winner. Legend of the game. Legend, not just even a legend of Welsh football. Cardiff was excellent, but just what he won at Everton is absolutely incredible. The younger generation, younger than me, won't even remember when Everton were one of the best teams in the country. But Kevin Ratcliffe, what a defender. And then, of course, Johnny Owen, absolutely superb. Guys, as always, it's been a pleasure. Slightly shorter one this evening. I do really appreciate you all tuning in. It's late. I'm rough. I feel really disappointed. But then, look at the positive, right? Before the game, we probably didn't expect much from it. And we've all come away and we're quite frustrated with it because we feel like we could have got something out of that game. Let's take that mentality into Sunderland. Let's go and beat them. Let's go and get 3 points on Saturday, and then that's a good week's work against Burnley and Sunderland. Get 3 points. Oof, would have taken that all day. Got to go and do the business now. Rhys has got to get the selection right, tactics right. The crowd will be good. The away fans are always classic, always behind the team. And that's all we can do is get behind the team. Get behind the boys. So, yeah, get your tickets for Glenn Loovens. Tomorrow night from 7, I'll be back with 2-hour extravaganza of guests and football talk. We'll be having a deep dive into the Cardiff game, of course, as well, and speaking to the guests. So I thank you. I bid you farewell. Make sure you subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And if I can get one new member tonight, I might give a prize away tomorrow night. Appreciate you all. One new member between now and 7 o'clock tomorrow, and I will give away a prize during the show tomorrow. And it'll be a good prize as well. In a bit.